Christmas 1971. Santa Claus came to Kansas City, but for the Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins, their AFC playoff game seemed more like Labor Day.
That game was a struggle, and you had to concentrate so much on the fact of the struggle and to keep renewing your enthusiasm and your determination just to hang on and not let them take it.
Well, that game had everything. That just had offense, it had defense, it had the kicking game, it had Podolak. We still haven't figured out a way to stop Podolak in the ball game.
Kansas City's Ed Podolak, number 14, an obscure running back who rarely played in the spotlight, took center stage against the Dolphins, both through the air and on the ground.
It seemed like everything we tried offensively worked. Every time I got the ball, there was a huge hole. I remember one situation where we'd even completed a pass to Otis Taylor, and I happened to be right in the right place at the right time, and he lateraled the ball to me, and we gained an additional 20 or 30 yards on the play.
Podolak weaved his way in and around the Dolphin defense and ultimately into the end zone to give the Chiefs the early lead. Podolak found the perfect Christmas gift for his team. A postseason record-setting effort of 350 all-purpose yards.
It was the kind of day that you really can't explain why it happened. Of all the games I'd played in as a pro, some days things just seem to click, and some days you can't make things work no matter how hard you try.
While Podolak became the game's main attraction, everything seemed to click for quarterback Len Dawson and his supporting cast as well. In contrast to the Chiefs' lofty performances, Miami quarterback Bob Greasy directed a steady ball control offense that was anchored by their backfield duo, Larry Zonka and Jim Kick, number 21. While Miami counted on Butch and Sundance for the touchdowns, it kept the Dolphins in the game. The Chiefs turned once again to old reliable Ed Podolak for the fourth quarter lead. But the Dolphins proved to be the match of the Chiefs, mounting a comeback each time they were down.
We had several opportunities during that ball game to quit and say, listen, we're young, they're the champions, we're just young people just getting our feet on the ground. We've played well. We've played well to get here. We've played well against Kansas City, the champions, and we can just pack it in and go home. But several opportunities, several times we didn't do that, and we just kept coming back, and finally things turned our way.
Mar Fleming's touchdown tied the score with less than 2 minutes to play. But the Chiefs, Super Bowl champions just 2 years before, would have one more possession. Back to receive the kickoff, of course, Ed Podolak.
He gets it high, back right on the goal line, and Podolak out to the 5, the 10, the 15, to the 20. Somebody gonna get it. He's at the 50, down to the 40, the 35, and he's out of bounds. Down the far sideline, on the 22-yard line. That's exactly what we did not need. Oh, what a way to lose the ball game.
The return deep into Dolphin territory set the stage for a game-winning field goal attempt by Jan Stenerud, one of the best in the league. But Centerude's shocking miss sent the game into overtime.
I just couldn't believe that he missed it. We were exuberant. I mean, I think it was from like the 17 or 20-yard line, something like that. It was a chip shot for Jan. I don't know what happened, whether it was the holder or the snap or whatever, but he missed it. Gave us renewed enthusiasm.
They had just dodged a bullet in the fact that we had missed on a field goal attempt from in close to win the ball game, and it was us that had the air come out of our balloon at that point, and we had to regroup in a hurry.
Both teams had to regroup, and it was the defenses that took control, turning the game literally into a standoff through the fifth quarter and well into the sixth.
It boiled down into a game that went back and forth and couldn't get much done. And then finally we go back to a play that we hadn't used in a long time. It was a rollout draw to Zonka coming back.
Come on, defense, now's the time, baby! Now's the
time! We knew Lanier and company would quite possibly run themselves out of the play if we set up and really pulled off a good enough looking fake. The defense was so aggressive. They were out of position because of their intensity. It worked, but I just ran out of gas about 40 yards down the field.
Zonka's run gave the Dolphins their best opportunity for a game-winning field goal after almost 23 minutes of overtime.
How far, Carl?
It's 37 right
The ball is right directly in the center of the playing field. If Garrow makes it, the Dolphins win. The big play of the game for the Dolphins. Here's a snap, step down, the kick is up. He's got the distance. It's good! The Dolphins win! The Dolphins win!
Miami's victory in the longest pro football game ever played established the Dolphins as the team to watch in the early 70s.
That was the first time that the Dolphins realized that we just weren't a flash in the pan, and that game seemed to go on forever. But somehow, some way, someone would make a play to keep us in it. And I think it was the first time that we realized that we could play heads-up football with just about anyone.